Hey coin collectors and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And today it's the 1945 Mercury dime. And this is Lady Liberty here in the center. Liberty, it says around her hair or her winged cap obscures some of the letters, the E and some of the R. Down here under her chin it says, "In God We Trust." Back here is something that looks like a mint mark, but it's not. It's the initials of the engraver, Adolf Alexander Weinman. And then down here is the date, 1945. This coin first came out in 1916 during World War I. It bowed out in the last year of World War II, 1945. It was followed, of course, by our modern dime, the Roosevelt dime. Here's a 1946 Roosevelt dime here. Still says Liberty on it, still says "In God We Trust." It's John Sinek engraving, of course. Still has a date on the back, but they did change it to a torch with an oak sprig and an olive branch rather than what was on the back of the original one, which was this Roman war instrument called a fasces, which was an axe surrounded by a tied up bundle of sticks. And then you can see in the back of the fasces behind it, or kind of circling around it, is another olive branch. So the olive branch we kept. The fasces we changed out for a torch. The pluribus unum, which you can barely see on there, we kept. In the United States of America, one dime. If you look closely, you'll see down here, this is actually a San Francisco mint. This is where the mint mark is. There's no mint marks on the front of these. The mint mark's on the back, down here, right underneath the olive branch. And it's San Francisco. In 1945, they made 42 million coins. It was a regular circulating coin. And if you can get one of these with the full bands on it, these bands that go across and full lines going down, there's one out there so far that they've graded at a mint state 68 plus that's sold for $25,000. There is also another one out there which is called the Micro S, and what they did for some of them, for some reason, there's a little tiny S on there, and it's really up in there a little bit more. If it's really worn, it's hard to tell, but this one is not the Micro S. But if they have four of the Micro S variety from 1945, mint state 68 full bands, $30,000 each. So you could have a $25,000 or $30,000 dime from San Francisco from 1945 if it was in really, really good condition. Now these other ones, one's a Philly and one's a Denver. Usually I put Denver on the right, so let's see if I did this time. I did not. So this is a Philly. So if we look right down here, we see that there's no letter on this one. We actually can see a little bit more of the bands on here. This is, it would have to have two separated bands, separated by a line, all these ones that went across. We don't have that, but we do have some pretty good detail here. And this, at the Philadelphia Mint, in 1945, they made 159 million. And this is the money coin. They found two of these in an MS 67 plus full bands, $125,000. So for some reason, the 1945 last year of the Mercury dime is a hugely, hugely valuable coin, especially at Philadelphia. Even if you get this at a mint state 65 full bands, it's worth $17,500. It's been called in PCGS one of the greatest rarities in the U.S. coin digest. And then finally, this would be, I guess, the Denver one, and there's the D right there, kind of flattened out again. Again, we don't see any full bands. We also, there's a kind of ribbon that goes across at an angle. We don't see that either. We do see the D, and at the Denver Mint, in 1945, they made 40 million of these coins, and the highest price one so far is a mint state 68 plus, $10,000. $125,000 for the best from the Philadelphia Mint, and $30,000 if you can get the Micro S from the San Francisco Mint. Add them all up and you get about $172,000 for the three best coins from 1945 that were Mercury dime. What is the whole Mercury dime thing? This is not Mercury on here. This is Lady Liberty. She is, however, wearing what's called a Phrygian cap. Sometimes they call this coin the Winged Liberty dime or the Winged Liberty dime. She's wearing a winged cap or winged cap. It's a Phrygian cap, the kind that the Romans wore, because it has the wings on it and because it looks a lot of it like the Roman god Mercury. That's why they started calling this the Mercury dime. Adolf Weinman never intended this to be an image of Mercury. He intended it to be an image of Lady Liberty wearing the winged cap. And this cap was supposed to represent freedom of thought. These are incredibly expensive if you get them in good condition. They're incredibly good looking coins, even in this condition, and they're still around. They're worth about $1.50 just in silver alone because they're 90% silver, 10% copper. They have 118 reeds, just like the modern dimes. Around the outside it's a reeded edge, and these were the dimes that were used frequently during the Depression, and really the dime that they were thinking about in that song from the Depression, Brother, Can You Spare a Dime, was a Mercury dime. During the Great Depression in the United States, a Mercury dime might buy you a couple days worth of food. Alright, that's all we have today from DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you have in the comments section.